Even if you're not a full-time RVer, you can still transition your shorter trips into ultimate freedom. It's about waking up with new views, choosing your weekend escapes or extra long vacations, and crafting adventures that fit into your life, not dictate it. We love the freedom our Heartland Tour gives us. We have all the amenities a small apartment has, but we get to change our location constantly. We really believe that RVing is a great way for personalized freedom. But for those of you that use your RV for long weekends or summer vacations, the freedom is in the choice. From deciding where to park to exploring educational opportunities for the family outside of the normal routine. So this video is really geared towards the weekend RVers and summer vacationers that use your RV that are wanting more and more freedom in their lives and how to get it. So if you are looking for a travel trailer, which we think is perfect for people wanting to dip their toes in the RV lifestyle, I'd suggest the Heartland's Prowler lineup. They're their best-selling RV of all time, so you know it's proven, and their new interiors are incredible. They're a small, modern apartment. They look fantastic. I'd head over to heartlandrvs.com to check it out. Obviously, I'm doing this video solo without Melissa today. They are learning about manatees today, and I'm not feeling well, so I'm doing this video. So here's the first item that I'd challenge the regular RVer with, is boondocking. So it's the location independence freedom. Perhaps you only stayed at campgrounds or RV resorts, but boondocking offers a glimpse into more independent RV life. You don't have to worry about booking a spot a week, a month, a year in advance just to ensure you have a location for your RV. You can literally go out and find that secluded spot you're looking for. That location that's perfect for just you and your family. That's by a creek, in the middle of woods, on a beach. With that, you're gonna learn to rely on not having the amenities that you're probably used to be more reliant on nature and your preparedness and your responsibilities that you have. So there's definitely more opportunities to boondock in the western half of the United States, as we found out. But looking through the eastern half of the United States, there's plenty of boondocking spots. You might have to get a little more creative, but there's a lot of national forest, wildlife management areas, and other locations that you can boondock with. You know, I'd really suggest using the Campendium app as a great resource to find those locations. Just filter to free on that app, and you know they're going to show you some locations and give you reviews. Our most memorable moments in RVing has been boondocking, bar none. So even a brief stay in the desert, by a creek, near the beach, it can definitely change your perspective on what it means to RV. It's a great way to introduce yourself and tiptoe yourself into living off-grid, even if it's just for a few days. So not everybody has a full-time setup like we do, okay? But here's the good thing, is you don't need a full solar array. You don't need all the gadgets and widgets to make your life easier boondocking, especially if you're just gonna go for a weekend, if you're just gonna go for a long week, whatever. However you travel with your RV, you can make that happen. So I would suggest a generator though, and somewhere in our page there is a small video about generator etiquette. I'd check that out. For introverts and nature lovers, if you crave quiet, you know, boondocking is the way to go. It's like a mini retreat for you. Also, boondocking is very economical. I mean, it's literally called free camping or wild camping, whatever you want to call it. It costs you zero, hopefully. Even without a full-time setup like we have on our Heartland Torque, a very simple setup with make sure you have that generator, go Campendium where you can find those free locations, can make boondocking accessible for even the weekend warriors. Just like I just said, the weekend warriors, that's who this video is for, and you know, the long summer vacationers. But with that, there's also additional freedoms you might find, especially in the work-life balance entrepreneurial realm. That's what we're gonna get into next. So also the flexibility of work on the road. If you're RVing on the weekends or just using it to go on these long vacations, RVing can inspire you to stretch yourself and inspire those side projects you've been putting off, or enhance your work from home days if you're allowed to work from home as a remote worker. Starlink has really made this possible for everybody now. So picture writing that blog post you've been putting off, writing it by the lakeside, managing those emails with a mountain view, or have those video meetings right in the middle of the forest. You can do it. So this lifestyle really teaches adaptability and creativity, which can be beneficial to no matter what you do, even if it's just a hobby or a part-time gig. If you can, try to use your RV trips to combine work with leisure. This will give you a taste how freedom of location can impact your productivity and creativity. We feel like we have the ultimate freedom as we homeschool our kids while we're on the road full-time RVing. This may not be for you, the full-time RVing with kids, nor homeschooling, which is fine. I totally get it. But RV trips in general are by default very educational. So a weekend trip in the RV can turn into a lesson about local history, nature, or even those long lost hands-on skills. So in general, our family learns best by learning by doing, really complete the education. So we like it because we use RV outings wherever we go to teach our kids and ourselves through experience, which is our methodology. From stargazing, which trickles to learning about physics, to factory tours and how the heck they make these things, to exploring just the general local ecosystem. For example, just how a beaver can have a big impact on an ecosystem. So even in part-time, RVers can enrich their kids and their education through real-world context. What better way to complete anybody's learning is to go visit what you just learned about. It's amazing. The more and more you RV, the more and more you realize how much of the world is opened up to you and how much you can do. The choices start to become daunting. There's too many choices, so what we like to do is limit our choices on what we can and can't do. We're still battling this ourselves all the time, so here's some simple general terms that what we do to manage it. Number one is weather. So we have done extreme winters and really hot summers in the RV. You can do it, especially if you're constrained on a certain weekend or travel in the summer and you got to go to a place. You can do it and you'll be fine. But in general, we like to use the weather as the first constraint. I don't want to go somewhere that's too hot in the summer. Don't want to go somewhere too cold in the winter. So that constrains where we're going to go, what we're going to do, and it just puts those buffers. They might be pretty wide buffers, but they're buffers nonetheless and narrow down, 80% of the choices we can make. So the next one's budget. It's going to be the next constraint. It's usually most people's constraints. Financially, you purchase that RV and you want it to be a great investment for you. Well, for it to be a great investment of you, you got to go use it. You got to get out there. So if you can, use those boondocking. They're free. So you can go out there and have zero cost on your stay, or at least low cost, camping spots. State and county parks are usually great options, especially for weekends or long weeks. So finally, the next constraint, it's not all of them, but the last one we're going to talk about in general is just what you and the kids are interested in. Obviously, you go on vacations, you take these RV trips to where you want to go, check. But letting your kids' hobbies and your hobbies dictate where you go, whether it be fishing, hiking, or just relaxing. For instance, would be our son Cohen. We found a football camp in Orlando that we're going to go to for the weekend to make sure that happens. So again, we try to use those constraints to help limit our choices on what we're going to do, how we're going to do it. But also at the end of the day, with this freedom, it's the old quote, right? Great freedom comes great responsibility. And it's a new way to live, especially if you start boondocking and trying to figure out how to work on the road or make money, and then how to educate on the road. It comes with a lot of responsibility. Basically you're managing your own mini world. A lot of things that normal society takes for granted, you're gonna be doing yourself. So if you go boondocking, you're reliant on where you're getting water, where you're gonna dump your sewer, how you're gonna get electricity. Also, you gotta set, make sure you set up your own camp, plus what route you're gonna take. Are you gonna take the scenic route? Are you gonna take the fast route? Heck, even catching your own dinner sometimes, which Cohen's helped us out before. It's definitely a lot of freedom, a lot of responsibility, but it has its rewards, and we wouldn't trade it for the world. So I guess my challenge to the weekend warriors and the folks that use their RV in the summertime, how can you incorporate more freedom in your life through your RVing? Personally, I look around, I see people doing the RV thing, but not going to the next step and really discovering the freedom that is sold to you from the RV industry. They want you to get out there. They design these RVs to get out there to match the need for adventure. So that's it. We'll see you later. Get out there.